The U.S. Open has already begun, but we're getting ready to take a closer look at the golfers who are looking to bring home a little hardware this Sunday.
Plus, we're adding a little hometown feel to this year's U.S. Open because the U.S. Open will be in our own backyard next year. And for that, let's kick off our U.S. Open special.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Barron.
And I'm Jasmine McCoy. We welcome you into our U.S. Open special.
Yes, a lot to talk about this week as many of these players are looking forward to the opportunity to bring home the U.S. Open Championship. The main topic of discussion today, before we even get into everything else, the main stories of the day, is who has the best shot at winning the U.S. Open this season.
Of course, a lot of big names. The U.S. Open has been going since 1895, obviously a long time, but in that time we've had some greats who of course took this beautiful game to new heights. We're talking about Bobby Jones, who took home 4 U.S. Open titles, the great battles between Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, and of course the man that everyone has been watching in recent years is Tiger Woods. He's known for his magic at the Masters, but he's also made a good bit of luck at the U.S. Open. He's claimed 3 titles and is always looking for more.
Now, there's no arguing that Tiger Woods is one of the greatest to ever touch the course, but he hasn't been himself, well, for a while. He's heading into this week with a possibility of finding his first victory since the Masters last year, but he's also looking for his first win at the U.S. Open since 2008.
So, John, this begs the question, is Tiger Woods still a favorite to win it this year?
I don't think he'll ever not be a favorite. I honestly think that when you talk about Tiger Woods, you talk about the way he's played, he's revolutionized the game of golf, and he always will. Just like Bobby Jones, just like Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, all these guys have revolutionized the way that we watch golf. I mean, you have to think about it. Back in 1997, he won with such a large margin that he had to, they had to completely change Augusta National, okay, to just kind of accommodate the way that he did everything. So when you talk about that, it's just honestly amazing to see how he's able to do it. So I don't think there will ever be a time that he's not going to be a favorite. Of course, in recent years with everything that's going on, how he's been injured, yes, that has been a problem. But now let's go and take a look back at Tiger Woods' career. He's won 15 majors in his time, and his last one was at the Masters back in 2019, but his first was 1997 at the same golf course. He's had some success at the U.S. Open as well. He's won 3 titles, and his last was in 2008, but he hasn't found a top 10 finish since 2010.
Well, Tiger and Brooks aren't the only big-time names hoping to bring home the title. A couple other of the world's best are hoping to put their names in the ballot for this U.S. Open, and someone looking to find his way back on the top is Brooks Koepka.
Koepka, yes, Koepka, absolutely.
Yes.
Brooks has been the man at several different majors. He's taken home 4 majors in his career. That includes 2 wins at the Pga Championship and back-to-back wins at the U.S. Open. Last year, he had his title taken from him by Gary Woodland, and this year, he's hoping to take it back.
But if he wants to do that, he's going to have to take care of a couple things on the course. So, John, you know, what will Will Brooks have to do to win this U.S. Open?
Well, when you talk about Brooks Koepka, you talk about he's a young talent, okay? He started, I believe, in 2012 or is when he became, a pro. So when you talk about how young he is, he's kind of doing the same thing that Tiger Woods was. He started out super hot. He's winning back-to-back U.S. Opens. He's winning back-to-back PGA Championships. One thing that's escaped him, he's had a tie for second when he's going into the Masters.
Right.
That's one thing that's kind of escaped him, and he's still looking for that Masters victory. He'll hopefully have a chance in November. But you talk about that, well, you know, he's always going to be a favorite as well. You talk about these guys, Rory McIlroy, DJ, of course, Justin Johnson. So when you look at these guys, they're always going to be well, but he's had some injuries as well. Just like Tiger Woods, he's had problems with his back, he's had problems with his knee, but he's trying to come back out of it, so I don't think you ever will look at him and be like, he's never going to win or he's never going to be a favorite. But hearing from us sometimes isn't enough. We always want to get an inside look at these events, especially since the PGA Championship is headed here next year. And luckily for you guys, we got the chance to speak with Kiowa Island Golf President Roger Warren. Well, Jazz, we got the chance to anyways.
That's right. The PGA Championship will be back in the Low Country next year, and many patrons are looking forward to it. I am joined by Roger Warren, Kiowa Island Golf Resort President. The 2021 PGA Championship is just 8 months away. How has the planning process been like?
Well, the planning process for the 2021 PGA Championship has been probably made easier because we did the event in 2012.
Right.
So we had the opportunity to look at everything we had done then, evaluate it with the PGA of America, with local authorities, so that we can make sure that in 2021 everything is better than it was in 2012. We learned a lot. and the golf course is the one thing that has just improved naturally. So we're excited about hosting everyone in 2021 in May 17th through the 21st, and we're looking forward to it because it's such a great venue for golf, and the PGA Championship being one of the 4 majors, we're really excited about it and looking forward to hosting the event.
And this ocean course is known for being very, very tough. What about this course gives it that reputation?
Well, the ocean course is one of the finest golf courses in the world, and it annually is rated as one of the most difficult courses to play from the back tees. I think what makes it so special for an event like the PGA Championship is that being a public golf course, it is available to the public play before and after the event, which we're really proud of that. But Pete Dye, the designer of the golf course, was a genius, and he was able to create a playing experience for the major players in the world. Pete designed this to be a links golf course to be played through the air, because many of the greens are perched up in the air, and so there's no advantage to anybody trying to roll the ball up. It will force these players to play every club in their bag and challenge them, and as was demonstrated in 2012 with Rory McIlroy as the winner, we'll have a great player who will win this and be a deserving champion at the ocean course.
And speaking of Pete, the golf community lost such a legendary member. Can you talk to me about just the imprint he leaves and just how special it was to have him create this course?
Well, Pete Dye, who designed the ocean course, along with his wife Alice Dye, both of them played an integral role in the development of this golf course. Pete is a unique golf architect in the history of golf. Unique because he used a style to develop his golf courses different than anybody else. He really didn't do drawings and measure distances and so forth. He was like a sculptor. We liken him to a golf sculptor because he looked at a parcel of land and he would see the holes and he'd walk the holes and he'd walk with his crew and say, let's try here, let's try there. The impact he had on taking this virgin piece of property and being able to create a major championship golf course, but then also a golf course that people can play, is really part of his genius. His wife Alice was instrumental in making sure that the golf course on the front tees, the forward tees, was fair enough that anybody could play it. And she also emphasized wanting to be able to see the ocean from as many tees and greens and fairways as possible on the golf course. So many of those were built up so they had views of the ocean. So that kind of collaboration between Pete and Alice is something that makes this even more special.
He's looking to make some big changes, and he's got some ideas for this beautiful course. We'll get a chance to hear more from him tomorrow.
But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll hear more from local pros and who will give us an inside look at the 2021 PGA Championship.
A damp and dreary day here in the Low Country, but in New York, where the U.S. Open is taking place, that's a different story.
Let's check in the Low Country's chief meteorologist, Rob Fowler, with a look at let's take a look at what the players can expect on the green.
Hey guys, you know, all my golfer buddies say, Rob, we can forecast the weather better than you because we're outside. We can look at the clouds and see what's going on. We know which way the wind is blowing and we can estimate the wind speed. So we've got something on you, and they're most likely correct. We know golfers know what all kinds of weather can bring for them, but I can tell you for the U.S. Open over at Winged Foot, I think we're looking pretty good. Right now, we're going to kind of zoom in. We've got some showers south of Long Island, but right where they're playing the tournament right there's really not much going on. Now, your first question may be, okay, we're getting a lot of moisture here in the southeast. Is some of that moisture from leftover Sally going to make it all the way up into the New England and northeastern United States? Well, I can tell you there's a pretty good rain shield that's just south of Washington, D.C. So, yes, there is a lot of rain climbing right up Interstate 95, but based on our forecast model, it's not going to make it that far north. In fact, the weather is going to be absolutely gorgeous if they've got their sweaters, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Here's our forecast model as we get into the afternoon. Right now they're playing in some clouds and just some spotty showers, certainly not out of the question. By tomorrow morning, as they tee off early at round 2, we've got some showers pretty close by, so they could see a few sprinkles to start the round, but watch what the winds are doing. They're coming in from the north, and that's going to really dry things out. So I would say probably by mid-afternoon all the way into the evening time, things are going to dry out, and then it's smooth sailing for the rest of the weekend. This is 8 o'clock on Saturday. Lots of sunshine, northerly winds. That'll continue all the way through the end of round 3. And of course, round 4, the big round, hopefully we'll have a lot of players right there in the mix, and I think we will. It looks like it's going to be beautiful on Sunday. So we'll break it down. Here's the forecast in terms of temperatures, and today will be the warmest day of all 4 rounds as the forecast high is 76. And then, remember we talked about those northerly winds? That's going to pull in the cooler weather for them. It's also going to pull in cooler weather for us for the weekend, but 66 on Friday, low to middle 60s on Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures in the morning time will be in the upper 40s. So now let's talk about our weather. We know we've got a lot going on right along Interstate 95. That's been the corridor of some very heavy thunderstorms and numerous flash flood warnings as well as tornado warnings. Now, really, the heaviest rain is out towards Santee, Alcaloo, all the way back almost to Columbia. And the question is this coming our way? Well, it looks like most of this is going to stay to our west, but we'll be watching this area just down to the south and west of Charleston. This will be the last batch of rain that is coming on through later on this afternoon and into the evening time. Right now, the severe weather threat is pretty low, but we are tracking, guys, just the same. So that's the way it looks for us. It's windy, it's warm, it's humid. Most areas in the Midlands have been wet. The coast, though, except for some showers and thunderstorms this morning, has been mainly dry most of the day. So for golfers here locally, they know what kind of weather they're seeing this afternoon.
Now, Rob, I'm sure I'm not the only one that wants to know, who is your favorite to win the U.S. Open this year?
Well, everybody's a Tiger Woods fan. I've always been a Tiger Woods fan. I think DJ, he's a homegrown South Carolinian going to Coastal Carolina. John Rahm is always up there, but I tell you what, at the Pga Championship, Colin Morikawa, my wife and I fell in love with him. I loved how he handled everything. Even when the top to the trophy fell off, he handled it like a pro. So I think Colin Morikawa, I think he's got a great chance to win the U.S. Open.
Absolutely, Rob. Thank you so much. Of course, that's always something that we look at as the young talent. Some people are going to probably, revolutionize the way that we play golf and the way that we look at it. So it's always fun to watch those young guys and see how they compete against these guys that they've probably dreamed about playing around with for the longest time.
And South Carolina has a lot of talent that makes its way through the Low Country, and on the golf course, it's no different.
Earlier this week, we got the chance to speak with a local talent who is excited about the PGA Championship making its way back to the Low Country.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Like, the fact that the LPGA wants to come back again, it would obviously be way down the road, but, all the feedback from all the girls that I've talked to who played in the event last year here loved it. They loved the course. They loved the town. And I just think that, that says a lot about the community, the hospitality that, the southern charm of Charleston, everything is just, it means a lot to the community. The fact that, they enjoyed it so much, the fact they want to come back, because that always doesn't happen. Out there, and everyone I talked to loved it. It had the best time, and it just means so much to the people of Charleston.
And just kind of tell me, to have it at such a, I would say, outstanding golf course, what does that do for them and really say about just the abundance of great golf courses that we have here in Charleston?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's by far, I think, one of the best courses in just the Southeast even. And, it says a lot about Charleston, and the course was amazing. It was in great shape. It was super hard, which is what they wanted in the U.S. Open. It was just everything that, they wanted, Charleston gave them. And it just says a lot about the area.
And let's talk a little bit about just the competition. We have a lot of you, speaking, of course, of yourself, to see some of these, men and women on the tour, and to see a couple of them just being able to kind of represent not only South Carolina but Charleston. What does that really have to say about the area's talent?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of talent for this area, and I would hope so. There's so many great places to play, and it's just I don't know, it's just great. There's just so much out there, and Charleston is honestly not one of the most popular places that have professional golfers come out of. It's normally like Florida, Arizona, parts of California, Texas, places like that. But so we don't really get that many, but the ones that we do get out of here are really good caliber players. So that says a lot about that.
And just kind of tell me, in Arkansas, you were in the tour, and you wanted to honor somebody, Bill Hall. Just kind of tell me to put that BH on your Titleist ball, and kind of keep him close to your heart. How was that a way that you were able to kind of represent him and honor him?
Yeah, I mean, he meant so much to the Charleston community, obviously, and I'm really close with his family, with his son Billy and Tommy. We play golf a lot, and I've gotten to know them very well over the years, and he has also been somebody that's always been nothing but amazing, gracious, and anytime I would see him, it was always so pleasant. My dad had a quadruple bypass open heart surgery a while ago, and Bill was there for me. He brought my dad food in the hospital from Halls. Like, he brought my dad food, and he was just he was there for us, and it was like, if you need anything, if y'all need anything, we'll be there. Just he was like, if y'all are waiting and y'all need food, we'll bring you food. You just let us know. Like, he was just always so nice and caring, and I just wanted to honor him in a way in the only way I could.
And will you be probably honoring him for the rest of the year, and just kind of remembering his memory of what he's done for you and your family?
Oh, for sure, probably. I'm gonna find some way to do it each week.
Sounded good. Oh, yeah. That'll bite.
PGA Championship makes its way here next year. We'll get the chance to hear more from her.
And speaking of the PGA Championship, Kiowa has already released a video looking into the 2021 PGA Championship as they get ready to host this historic major.
Join me as we welcome the strongest field in golf back to South Carolina and the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island Golf Resort.
And the door is wide open for the Europeans to retain the Ryder Cup. The United States wins the Ryder Cup.
This is for the all-time margin of victory in PGA Championship history.
Can it be? Yes! The new ruler of the game of golf is Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, it was a great round of golf. I'm speechless.
That truly was a great day in South Carolina. I was there in 2012 and could not have been more proud to see our state shine on the world stage. And now we're preparing for an encore presentation. We will once again be able to crown a new PGA champion and show off the sights and sounds of South Carolina with great exciting memories, amazing networking, and a lot of great golf.
Oh, he's running after it. Ran after it. I don't believe it.
This is probably one of the greatest duels I've ever had in my life.
He's the champion.
It's just special to win a major, and this major especially. I'm so excited to be part of that history.
This is so special to get it done with 3 generations of PGA members, and I'm just glad we have a trophy now.
The majors just get my attention. Every shot is so important.
It's a Pga coronation.
Today was definitely the most satisfying out of all of them. That was the most excited I've ever been in my life.
In May of 2021, Major Championship Golf returns to the Palmetto State and the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island Golf Resort for the 103rd playing of the PGA Championship.
The game of golf is being affected the same way as every other sport. They're feeling the impact of COVID-19. Fans have been limited to the amount of sporting events they're able to see in person.
And you know, a team feeling that same hit is the Charleston Battery, but luckily they've been allowed to have a few fans and are realizing the impact patrons have on sporting events.
I mean, golf patrons tend to be a little bit of a quieter crowd at times, although U.S. Open, not necessarily, than a soccer fan. It's different. I think for the players, you can see from the PGA Championship that went off, it's a little strange when you sink a 35-foot putt and you're not really hearing much but you and your caddy. But I think on the other hand, you know, there was a chance that the U.S. Open wasn't even going to happen at all this year. So I think fans are thrilled. It's the same here, right? We wish we could be playing in front of 3,000 or 4,000, but that's not going to happen this year. It doesn't make sense. It's not responsible. So I think players and golfers alike are just happy that there's matches being played. I think they understand that for the most part.
Fans mean so much to these sporting events. Jasmine, how much can a fan really impact a sporting event?
Well, I know you guys saw that amazing commercial, and you could just hear the crowd roar, you know, when they hit those big shots. And then, of course, I was at the Charleston Battery when they first allowed fans to be back. And I mean, the energy in there was insane. And just the community of the Low Country coming out and supporting their team, you can't beat that.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, but that's all the time that we have.
Join us again tomorrow at the same time as we break down the first round of the U.S. Open. You can catch us right here tonight at 5.